Our first speaker will be Kayson, one of our lovely organizers. And the talk is titled Turf War, Splatoon's post-system as a platform for queerness.
I do want to first acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that I live and work on, and pay my respects to Indigenous persons here today, and elders past and present, and anyone watching this in future, maybe, I guess. I live on Gadigal land and work on Wallumedegal land here, and I truly appreciate that this land is here and that you've nurtured this land for so long, always was and always will be. So my talk's on Splatoon. For those of you who are not aware of Splatoon, Splatoon is a first-person shooter game, except instead of guns and bullets, we have paint and splats. So basically a paintball scenario, and if you get hit too much, you get splattered and then respawn. So it's kind of a PG, except actually it's an E for everyone version of a shooter. But given that it's for everyone, it has none of that kind of toxic masculinity. It is a multiplayer online game, so you're playing with random strangers. You don't know who they are. You can find friends, but usually you're paired with people in a game that you don't know. So there's no voice chat, which keeps it kid-friendly. You're not kind of subjected to trolls or slurs or just grossness, really. So that's kind of the foundation of Splatoon. There has been 3 releases. There's Splatoon 1, 2, and 3, and 3 has just reached its final kind of support phase, and we're hoping for a Splatoon 4 coming out soon. So as part of Splatoon, there's different ways that you can engage with the game, 2 of which are through PvP battle, which are Turf War, which is why I get to make the pun about turfs here. The other one is more like a challenge type, but you're still trying to beat an opposing team. Then we have a co-opt, kind of like cooperative beat bosses and monsters, so you're not engaging in the slatting of humans or inklings or splatlings, octolings, sorry. And then there's a card game, which I can't tell you much about because I don't enjoy it. But there's no paint in there. This is basically the promo material that Nintendo released pre-Splatoon 3. The community around Splatoon is very queer. If we go back to the image of Splatoon 3, there's kind of like hints that it's a bit more friendly because it's NB colors. We've got, but because Splatoon's made by Nintendo, which is a Japanese company, Japan is in this weird context where like queerness and stuff is socially acceptable, but legally not so much. Like there's no gay marriage. So all of the relationships are kind of like hinted at, but it's not explicit. And so it makes it an odd scenario for a game that that doesn't be explicitly queer to be a space that has been kind of co-opted by a queer community. But in breaking down the, kind of cutting off the wider community of like gamers by not allowing voice chat, you've kind of created this space where you're protected from a bit of the harassment that you would get otherwise. So as part of Splatoon 1, we had Squid Sisters. They're not queer, but people do ship them with people. And then we move on to Splatoon 2, where we get Pearl and Marina, who are as close as explicitly queer as you can get. Marina is in love with someone, and Pearl's descriptor is I'm the one. So Nintendo is as close to towing the line, and Act over there is a side character, but has they them pronouns, so it's explicitly non-binary. In Splatoon 3, we have Shivers, Big Man, and Fry. Shivers was speculated to be non-binary. However, before release, because all the promo didn't use any like pronouns. People were like speculating, but Nintendo came out and were like, no, she uses she, her. We don't want you to get disappointed. So it's kind of like avoiding that queer washing, queer baiting stuff. It's like, no, don't come here just for that. That's not what this is. However, in Splatoon 3, they did remove gender. So you don't pick a gender, you pick a style, and you pick whether you can be an octoling or an inkling, which is a squid or an octopus. That's the one thing you can't change. You can change the style, you can change hair, you can change eye color, I think, and clothing to match your style. And everything's about being fresh. Fresh is a system of currency here, but it actually means nothing because there's nothing you can buy with it. It's just like, that's kind of the one engagement that people can give to you as like real world people can go, I fresh you, you are cool. But you kind of get a pop-up, a single individual pop-up once someone does it and it says, someone thought you were fresh, and that goes away. You can never find that again, ever. So it's kind of weird, and really like Nintendo's not been very super transparent in their how does this fresh system apply to anything. But it's like a really weird disconnected interaction system because it's from, all you see is this pop-up. There's no real way of engaging with people. The systems, can I get this to play? Yes, I should have muted this, sorry. Like the best you can do is kind of squid around with each other. That's like the closest you get to interacting with people and in like a live setting. And so, of course, people just squid around with each other to kind of be like, we're friends now. That's all you get. You can also kind of try and bully some people into squidding with you, and which is always a bit of fun because people tend not to start engaging, but then if you follow them around enough and squid at them, they will start squidding at them, so at you. So they give a in a sec. Come on. And we got them. And so that's kind of the only way that you really ever interact with a person who is there in like real time. So this space is the lobby. This is where you're waiting for a game. The other elements to Splatoon are the shops. So you go buy different outfits, and then the plaza. And the plaza is really weird because there's nothing there. Like it's just a liminal space for you to go to the shops or to the lobby for a game. It just is really empty if you're not connected to the internet. It's quite eerie, but once the internet's connected, you can see all these people who have used the post system. Now, post system lets you put up an image, much like this one on the right here, and draw. It used to require you to put it on Twitter, but now it just goes straight up. But you're also not clear if anyone can see what you're posting unless you get this random fresh thing that comes up, like someone thought you were fresh. So you use this post thing. It's really terrible, like art paint thing, which is really hard to navigate. And it's also only black and white. But we end up with some really cool pictures like this. So this person's really excited for Saturday, and that's excellent for them. We can also get some really cool, slightly more queer things. I know Oliver had mentioned that Gravity Falls was quite queer, and so this is where a space is kind of overlapping the fan. Recently, fans have kind of been posting about Gravity Falls. This is one of my favorites that I've ever seen of a post. Makes me happy. It was the post that made me want to go play Splatoon. And then also, because you're not quite sure if people can see things or not, you do get these interesting responses to other people. You can walk around and see that, like, no, yeah, this one. So like this person's like, I can't find my hair, and that person's like, to the person who lost your hair, I found it. So like they're kind of communicating that way, which is kind of cute. And that happens with queer stuff as well. So this one is this person, I kiss men, and then we had Crazy Beck, who did not particularly care, and then everyone else is like, actually we do care. We care about who you kiss as a kind of a support of them being queer. We do have some elements where people are like just talking to the ether about like, I want my name changed in real life, or I'm trying to get my parents to get me on testosterone, which is just a nice little like, we here are queer and it's okay to be, and that's just like, they're not going to get a response necessarily. But then we get some really annoying things. So recently the community has been disappointed with a lot of religious posts. And so we get interesting kind of interactions here, which is going to be another sound one, where like that person was like, please stop posting, and they're sitting right next to a person who's like, Jesus loves you, right? Like Nintendo's algorithm is so, it's unclear why it picks what it does, but so you can get the person who's like, stop posting about Jesus, sitting right next to the person posting about Jesus, and it looks like they're holding hands until you go up to look at that. So it's kind of, I find that quite amusing. And then so this person's like because there was such backlash, people being like, stop persecuting me because I'm posting about Jesus. And then this is another Gravity Falls crossover where they're saying you aren't being persecuted when people find you annoying for evangelizing in the Squid Game. And we also get some traditional kind of rights statements. So trans rights, squid rights, a bit of play because in this post-apocalyptic world, humans aren't around, but the squids have evolved, so that's who we're playing. And this here is another Gravity Falls at Cypher Bill in really small. I'm here, I'm queer, and I'm not going anywhere. So it's just kind of filling out this place that wouldn't have anything to do otherwise. We also have some more political statements, so Free Congo, which interestingly, the posts that still unclear how or why this one particular, but like if you post enough, well, if you post something, it gets put up on like as graffiti, which is a way of, I think, a nice way that Nintendo has been like, you are claiming this city as your own. You can, whatever you're posting will become part of this city. And so it is actually your space that we've carved out for you. So we've got Palestine, Congo, Sudan, we've got Gaza, Venezuela. And so even though it's such a limited kind of like black and white system and it's never seen in game other than in this weird liminal space that wouldn't mean anything, that's kind of where we're going to express ourselves. And recently they had Splatfest, which is kind of the way you like form teams, and the Grand Fest is where the game's results impacts the future of the next sequel usually. And this one, like, very clearly celebrating with like rainbows. If you went through it, you'd end up with paint on yourself. But we're hoping that it continues to be a place where Nintendo supports community. Because the thing that is very special about Splatoon is it's explicitly a future post-apocalyptic setting, and it's hopeful even though there's still kind of like humanity went wrong, but we can still have hope. And as you're a marginalized person in the modern world, it's comforting for queer people to live here, as this person reflects. And 1.4 thousand people have agreed with this, so I thought it was a good representative text. Also, we hope that Splatoon 4 has lesbians. All right. So this really has nothing to do with my work in my PhD that I'm doing right now, because I just did this one as a bit of fun. So I hope you enjoyed watching Splatoon and learning a bit about how it creates a space for queer people. And if you are wanting to play Splatoon, you should definitely do it. It's only like 3-minute battles. All right. Thank you all.